not seen a Kali in this tournament yet, and it took out Leah keys, so one to watch. Starting builds, we have got a Death Toll for sustain and a little bit of tankiness on MrBurps, and the warrior, and well, not the warrior, but the Tabby level 1 and a mana health pot combo. Whereas Kali has gone for Heartseeker level 1, Tabby level 1, and 2 health and mana pots. So a lot of sustain coming from Dillbob over there. And natural sustain from Kali with her 3, as it is a heal. This will be interesting. Dillbob going for good placement, playing very aggressively, using his number 2 to get a lot of damage on the minions, and the 3 to get a lot of sustain up. Dillbob is not afraid of no ghost. He's just diving in there, doing as much as possible. Doing a little bit of poke damage using his 2 on the Artemis. Dillbob popped a mana potion early, so it looks like there's going to be a lot of spamming from Dillbob, trying to out-harass this Artemis. It's going to be very, very interesting. But Artemis keeping at range, waiting for the 2 to proc out so that she can then use her own skills to take out the creeps. Trying to get everything in here in this picture is actually surprisingly difficult. Both have good poke, both have good wave clearing, although Kali seems to be getting the better of this exchange at the moment. Already a tiny bit of poke damage on the tower. There we go, look at Dillbob there positioning himself as Kali, taking out the archers as fast as possible. MrBurps pretty much ignoring the Kali there, just trying to clear the creeps. He's not clearing anywhere near as fast as Kali. This is interesting. Kali has got very, very good clear. Much higher clear than I thought she would have. Kali definitely an interesting choice for a 1v1 tournament, but as we can see is very, very effective. Was out harassing Artemis, forcing him to go under his tower every single creep wave push. This is literally just a matchup of pushing as fast as possible, and Kali appears to be winning this every single wave, even willing to take a hit from the tower just to get some extra harass on that Artemis. Artemis though not backing down, landing auto attacks onto the Kali, as Kali is just trying to clear out that behemoth creep. But now it is Kali's turn to get a behemoth creep over the Artemis. This is going to be very, very interesting. Expect a little bit of poke on this tower now coming out from this wave. Artemis clearing as fast as possible, but she just does not have the damage that Kali has this early in the game. We've got Artemis having a supreme trouble clearing these waves at the moment. Little bit of poke damage onto the tower, but actually not that significant. It's early in the game though, it's not really a surprise. Mana getting a little bit low for this Artemis. MrBurps in trouble. He's going to have to go back to base soon after a couple of waves. Dillbob's got a lot more sustain, although he is also out of mana potions. So this might end up coming to a standstill. Dillbob pops his number 1, doing a nice bit of damage on MrBurps there. MrBurps down to half health. Managing to hit Kali a couple of times on the way out. Kali also down on half health now. Fairly even game actually, surprisingly. Dillbob looked like he had the advantage early on, but this Artemis being played by MrBurps here really, really holding his own. Using his 3 to poke at the creeps effectively. That Death Toll really doing work, helping out mana and health regeneration. Kali does not have the sustain anymore. Kali taking a lot of damage there from Rain of Arrows and auto attacks from Artemis. Artemis critting a lot because of her passive, which is really helping her out a lot now. Both gods returning to base at the same time. Going to buy new things. Kali finishing off Heartseeker now, so Kali's going to be able to start getting charges. A little bit more sustain with more potions. A sprint and level 2 Tabby now. So Kali is getting more and more dangerous, whereas MrBurps, for the first time ever in the tournament, we are seeing a protection item. As aggressive as an item has still got physical protection on them, so which is really going to help out against this Kali. Doesn't seem like much, but it's really going to help. The harass is going to start doing less damage. Dillbob's going to start doing less damage when he does the auto attack wars. And Artemis is going to start winning. But we will see. Perhaps Dillbob will get penetration of his own. We will see. Look at that. Artemis really, really starting to absorb damage. And it's only level 1. I mean, it's only 10 protection, but you can noticeable difference there. But then again, once Callie gets charges up on Heartseeker, it's going to be a different game altogether, I think. Providing Callie does not die. Callie now, though, leveling up her 2+, doing a lot of damage, clearing creep waves very, very, very quickly. Callie now diving in, but nice brute by Artemis there. Very, very good. Freezing Callie in place, allowing her to get away, but she runs back in for more, takes a little bit more harass damage. In the end, is safe under the tower. Artemis popping her last health potion. Trying to regen a little bit. Potions are very, very powerful this early in the game. Callie herself popped a health potion, but look at that creep wave clearing potential by Callie. Very, very, very good. Pops the one there. A little bit of an intimidation run. Wasn't really expecting to get any damage out of that, I don't think. But Callie now starting to run a little bit lower mana, but not as low as Artemis. Artemis needs to be careful now. Soon Artemis won't have enough mana to be able to do anything versus this Callie if this carries on. She's running in, trying to get some harass with the auto attacks. Not too much that Artemis can do now, just using her rain of arrows to poke down on the creeps. But still can't damage them as fast as Callie can. Callie doing very, very well. Getting a little bit of harassing the Artemis, willing to take a hit from the tower to do it. Artemis now stuck under the tower, tanking creeps, trying to get as much XP as gold as possible, but it's not going to happen, not with the tower hammering on the creeps. Look at that damage! Artemis forced to return to base. MrBurps going back. Gonna have to regen up fully because this Callie is just doing too much damage and appears to have too much mana sustain. Callie's definitely got enough for one more of her use of her 2s. Right, Callie using her number 1 buff to do a little bit more damage, doing a lot of poke damage against this tower. Tower is still relatively high up actually, not lost too much health. A bit too early in the game to be pushing towers, I think. Callie's going back to base. Oh, nice rain of arrows. Tried to interrupt the teleport, but unfortunately just a little bit too slow. Artemis now going to be pushing really, really hard, trying to get as much poke damage on this tower as much as possible. Artemis not using her number 2, surprisingly. I would have thought she would have popped the number 2 straight away to get as much damage on this tower as possible. Callie, though, back, pissed off that her tower is getting poked down. Artemis doing a lot of damage on that push. Very, very well done by Artemis there. Callie is back and ready to rumble. Looking forward to taking down these creeps as fast as possible. Almost an entire creep wave with one spell, ladies and gentlemen. That's incredible damage. Pops her 1 buff for extra run speed and extra damage. Comes in and starts attacking the Artemis. But Artemis quickly retreats into tower range, making her safe for the moment. We're going to pop down into this point of view of Dillbob playing this Callie. Actually, you have to press the portrait, not just the name. I think a melee point of view will be quite an interesting one because she's forced to dance around a lot more. Now let's go back through the items, seeing as Dillbob has gone back to base. Dillbob finishing off, got Ninja Tabby for the cooldown reduction. This was changed today in the most recent patch. So using that CDR to his advantage as much as possible, and also has level 2 Devourer's Gloves. We're going for a second stacking item here. Probably a good choice considering this game is pretty much revolving around farming the waves. It's a very, very passive game. Neither one of these gods really willing to commit at the moment. Callie doing so much damage, pretty much able to clear a creep wave in one attack. Incredible damage. Artemis though trapping Callie again with her number 1. Very, very good. Now using her number 2 to clear out these creeps as fast as possible. Dillbob taking a little bit of harass, but not really worried at the moment. Still has a lot of health to play around with. Oh, 93 damage there from the Artemis. Artemis starting to really lay into Callie here. Not much Callie can do really apart from stand back and use the heal there to get back some health. But Callie is now down on mana. It has cleared the wave very, very efficiently. We're going to move over to MrBurps' point of view here of playing this Artemis. And he is sitting on level 2 Void Blade, finished Warrior Tabby, so not going for the CDR. And Death Spell. CDR probably not the most necessary stat on an Artemis per se. Her spells are up again very, very quickly, naturally. And she's not really a god designed for spam, she's more about basic attacks. Callie's just so strong with her wave clear, really not much you can do, but she's going to port back to base, taking advantage of the fact that all of Artemis's creeps are down. Artemis also porting back to base, we're going to see what's going to happen here. Kali finishing off Devourer's Glove, so it's going to start getting stacks with that item now. And also got level 1 Jotun's Wrath, so going for even more CDR. She will be maxed out with CDR by the end of this. Whereas Kali going for Focus Voidblade, allowing for more damage, flat penetration. I believe it's 25 on Focus Voidblade. 25 flat penetration, and also getting Executioner. So going for a lot of penetration early and attack speed. Not too sure if I agree with so much penetration. There are definitely other attack speed items which would probably be more suitable from Artemis at this point, as Kali is not going tank in any way, shape or form. Kali though, taking out the trap by Artemis there, clearing up a possible escape route for later. Very, very good. Neither god using their ultimate yet. Kali running in, doing poke damage against the tower, whilst the Artemis is occupied. Pumba comes out, stuns the Kali. Kali pops her ultimate to do a little bit of damage on Artemis, but Artemis returns with a volley of her own, does a lot of damage on that Kali. Kali forced to return to base now, nothing she can do. Artemis, with those added protections, are really, really paying off. Artemis is definitely gaining the upper hand in this match with all that damage. Now Artemis pops her 2 and starts doing some serious poke onto Kali's tower. Kali's tower is going down incredibly quickly. Will probably lose the tower. In fact, she does. Kali runs in, uses one spell, clears the whole creep wave, and now she's mad. She's got a speed buff here, she's not afraid to use it. She's going to be doing her best to take down this Artemis, who also has a speed buff. Speed buff obviously being the most popular buff, which makes sense considering the gods that are being played. Kali still has the superior clear, but unfortunately has done hardly any damage to Artemis' tower. Artemis managing to clear the enemy minions off very, very quickly. Now we are back to a stalemate in the middle lane. Kali dancing around, avoiding all the basic attacks from Artemis here. Artemis is seemingly throwing them at haphazardly. Hits the nail on the button there though, does a little bit of poke damage to the Kali. Kali straight in, clears the whole wave. Not much Artemis can do. Artemis, however, does clear out the minions in one go. Oh, Dillbob comes in, tries to attack, gets caught again on the trap. Artemis doing very, very well with trap placements this game. Not much Kali can do. Kali just keeps getting CC'd and zoned out. MrBurps doing very, very, very well, playing very efficiently. Kali popping a 1-2 combo there to put a bleed on the number 2. Artemis with all of her physical protection granted from Voidblade, simply shrugging the damage off. Kali though jumping in, doing a lot of basic attack damage. Artemis is down to under half health, forced to return to base. Wise move, as Kali probably would have taken her out the next time, decided to poke her head out from outside the tower. Dillbob, however, seeing that Kali has gone for a little bit of physical protection, doesn't really decide to go much penetration outside of this Jotun's Wrath. It will afford a bit of penetration, probably will be enough, but you never know. Kali might decide to go for something else after this. Artemis is back. Artemis has now finished off her Executioner, so she's got a lot of attack speed now. Going for level 1 Deathbringer for the big boom chick. Boom chicken crits. Artemis pops out Pumba, but is destroyed very, very quickly by Artemis there. Artemis immune to all kinds of CC, so basically eats the trap there for free. Another well-placed trap by Artemis there. Sorry, I was taking a drink of water. Artemis clearing out these creeps very quickly. Oh no, Kali's coming in for the attack, but no! MrBurps scores first blood. Just too much damage for Artemis now. For Kali to take. Artemis with that inbuilt crit is going to be very, very dangerous. Kali has gone back to base, is now dead for 28 more seconds. Decides to get finish off Jotun's Wrath and get level 2 Voidblade herself. So Kali now is going to have the same amount of protections as Artemis, and hopefully will start doing a lot better because of it. We shall see. But now, unfortunately, Dillbob has to get some creep wave clears now to get the stacks back up on that Heartseeker. Dillbob must have had full stacks before he died, so now he's got to farm up 25 more stacks. That's going to take a lot of doing before he's back up to full strength. Artemis pushes down the Phoenix. Very, very, very good push on that one death. Kali really paying for that dive there. Very unfortunate. Artemis now realizes that Kali is up, was going to go back, but instead decides to venture into the jungle. Going to go clear a creep wave here. This time it's a damage buff, not the speed buff. Deciding she's got enough movement speed and attack speed. Now decides to go back to base. Good job. Whereas Callie has gone and gotten the speed buff yet again and is now back to lane. He's going to start clearing creep waves again. Get those charges back up on Heartseeker and hopefully get even more on Vara's gloves. We shall see. Callie doing a lot of damage herself at the moment though, so the next engagement between Callie and Artemis should be quite interesting. Dillbob safely staying right behind the minions now, does not want any part of this Artemis, who is critting for over 500 now, ladies and gentlemen. Doing a lot of damage. This Artemis is very, very, very dangerous. Unfortunately, I think Callie's advantage was mainly in the early game, but Artemis has managed to outlast. In fact, we're going to go into MrBurps' point of view here as he chases down Callie in past his now dead Phoenix. Artemis is trying to clear the waves up as much as possible. Launches out Pumbaa, but Callie spins, completely negates the Pumbaa stun. But Artemis doing so much damage so quickly now, there is literally nothing Callie can do. Callie forced to fall all the way back to base now. Narrowly escaping death. Artemis now has to return, pops to number 2 for more damage. A little bit of a shock and awe intimidation campaign there as Callie wants no part of that. Callie effectively stuck in base now as Artemis is here with flame minions who are notoriously more difficult to kill. Going in the opposite side of the minions there to get full attack on the Minotaur. Minotaur is getting chewed down very, very quickly. Callie comes in to contest this. But whilst the Artemis runs away, the minions will play and they do a lot of damage to this Minotaur. Minotaur down to half health already on the first push. Callie back in base regenerating whilst Artemis is back out. I can't go through that window, that's a shame. Clearing these minions very, very, very quickly. There is not much Callie can do here now unless she gets a big damage. Oh, I can go through the window, fantastic. Callie pops her ultimate, comes in, tries to do as much damage as Artemis possible. Artemis just Aegis out. Callie doing a lot of damage now though, trying to destroy Artemis, and she manages it. Minotaur is down, Minotaur is on quarter health now as Callie runs out and is going to do his best to clear minions as much as possible, do as much damage as possible. Hopefully going to do his best with the 47 seconds that he has left to get a tower and hopefully a Phoenix kill. Maybe even try to push into the Minotaur room, we shall see. 38 seconds left on Artemis. Artemis has finished his Deathbringer. Now he's got 2 points in rage. Artemis is going to be doing a lot of damage when she gets back. We'll see if the gold sword while she's dead is enough to get to finish off that rage. Now, interesting choice here by Callie. Callie goes for level 3 Void Blade, which is reduces physical protection of enemies within 55 feet by 15. That is not flat pen. That is flat pen, but it's not as much flat pen as getting focused Void Blade. The aura, I'm not quite sure what the point of the aura is, as this is a 1v1 joust. So focus Void Blade would have been miles better in my opinion, same as what Artemis has, because that is more penetration, and there's no need for an aura. Interesting decision there, very, very interesting decision. Joust is the one place where you can get completely selfish items and not have to feel bad about it. So very, very interesting choice now. They're both gods going for jungle buffs. Artemis with speed, Callie with damage. We shall see. Callie also has decided to go for golden bow, which works as a similar way to a rune cleaver, which means her basic attacks are going to do splash damage. Again, not very good against Artemis as a whole because this is a 1v1 event, but it's good versus creep clear. I'm assuming that item was bought in anticipation of getting fire minions to fight against again. We shall see. But at the moment it's Callie with the advantage. Callie with the fire minions. Doing a strong push against this Artemis, but Artemis is not backing down. Artemis is not afraid. Artemis takes down these minions so freaking quickly. It's unbelievable. 429 crits. Unbelievable. Lots of attack speed. Uses Pumbaa. Again, negated by the spin by Callie. Callie doing a lot of damage, but Artemis could have stood her ground there. I don't know why Artemis ran away. Artemis could have killed that Callie there. I think Callie's quite glad that she didn't. We're going to chase him into the jungle here as Callie's just running away as fast as possible. MrBurps trying his best to chase him down, but ends up giving up. Probably a wise decision. Even with speed buff, you cannot be faster than Callie. So Artemis instead going back to defend the base. Probably the wisest choice here, as his Minotaur is currently undefended, but is at maximum health. Callie's Callie being played by Dillbob here. Callie's Minotaur is almost back up to full health, so very, very, very good push by Dillbob here. Pretty much resetting the match now. Dillbob has the advantage with the Phoenix at half health. But it only takes one kill now. The next kill, I believe, will definitely decide the game. Callie, now that Callie has full build, apart from level 5 Aegis, decides to go for the 400 gold attack damage potion. Good choice, but it depends on whether or not Callie can get close. Callie could use the heal there for a little bit of sustain, because Artemis is hitting like a Mack truck right now. Drops the trap, but was cleverly avoided by Callie. Callie using the ultimate there, just to get in Artemis's face. Not much Artemis to do. Artemis running away, pops Pumba as soon as the ultimate goes. Very, very good timing. Callie in there, stuck with the Minotaur going, I do not want a part of that. Decides to retreat out. But the Minotaur is now pulled outside. Callie does have a lot of sustain, tanks that Minotaur, but unfortunately the Phoenix is up, so the Minotaur is now immune to damage. That is the last wave of fire groups that Callie has. Callie decides to port back to base instead, not wanting to waste the potion. He's going to regen, finish off the Aegis now, and then come back in. Artemis has now finished off his rage, so he's got a lot of damage, a lot of crit, and level 2 Aegis. Well, Artemis not really seeming to need Aegis. Artemis doing a lot of damage now. I'm interested to see what Artemis is going to replace that death toll with. Very, very interested. Perhaps some lifesteal for a little bit of sustain against this Callie here. Artemis coming in. Callie still in the turret. Oh, look at this. Artemis dropping the Phoenix down, deciding to attack. But Callie herself is backdooring, takes down the enemy Phoenix. But now is forced to return to base as fast as possible, recoiling now. But unfortunately, Callie is already here, maximizing her damage against this Minotaur as much as possible. Minotaur is under half health. Artemis running away, being chased by the Callie, but drops the trap, gets caught. Callie pops a sprint, runs in, takes out the minions. And now she has her own flame minions to combat Artemis' own flame minions. I hope Callie is clearing out the creep wave very, very quickly. Chasing down Artemis, who is now retreating to her own flame minions. This looks like we could be close to the end, folks. Both have a lot of clear, although Artemis appears to have the advantage now as the game goes on, but that golden bow doing work. Callie moving forward, avoiding all the little traps that are dropped down. We're doing our best to fight into the Minotaur as fast as possible, where Artemis retreats to go back to the well to regenerate his mana. Callie here now, taking down the fire minions as if they're nothing. Retreating back to the safety of her own fire minions, although Artemis is in base. Artemis heading off into the jungle. Should we follow her, see what she's doing? She's going for speed buff, of course. Probably the safest buff to do against this Callie. Artemis really, really benefits from attack speed. But also it's going to help her outrun this Callie, because Callie is notorious for having a ridiculously fast run speed, as we have seen throughout this game. Now it is Flame Minions versus Flame Minions. Both Phoenixes went down at about the same time, so this is a very, very even battle right now. It is 1 for 1. When it comes to kills, 1 for 1 when it comes to Phoenixes, 1 for 1 on potions. This game is about as even as it gets, but Artemis is just doing so much damage right now. Callie just retreating back to the tower as fast as she can. I really hope she replaces that Void Blade soon. That's bugging me there that she got the Aura one when the Focus Void Blade is so much superior, especially for Joust. No need to help a team if there is no team to help. Callie retreating back to the safety of the altar there, regenerating health and mana, waiting in anticipation for the next push by Artemis, which is coming right now. Artemis using her 2 to just take down the minions as fast as possible, and the rain of arrows there. Callie fighting back as fast as she can, just trying to keep the clear as even as possible. Unfortunately, Artemis appears to be winning this battle. Nice heal by Callie there, was a lot of heal. Artemis is just too strong and doing too much damage. Pops Pumba, but Pumba was unfortunately out of range, but it's also a nice zoning tool. GG, Artemis gets the Minotaur. So much damage from that Artemis. Very, very well done. Well done, guys. So we're going to go over the player stats very quickly. 1-to-1 in kills, both level 20. Gold earned was about the same. Callie had the slight edge of like 6 gold or 5 gold. Wow. Gold per minute was exactly the same. Player damage much higher on the Artemis though. Creep damage very, very similar. This was probably the most even game I've seen in a long time. Let's pop down to the other channel, get the thoughts on the other fellows invent. What did you guys think? That was so even if you look at the stats.
That was amazing.
So
I'm glad I lost, actually. That match was nasty.
Oh, wow.
That was amazing.
GG, well played.
I have one question for Burps, though, and that is, what was with the death's toll keeping it?
Yeah, if he swapped out that death toll, that was... Wow, that would have been better. But, I mean, look at the stats.
I mean,
there was 6 gold in gold... no, sorry, 5 gold. 5 gold difference. Oh my god.
it's a mirror match with different characters.
Yeah, gold per minute, exactly the same.
It was really a fun match to watch. I think that's probably the highlight so far of this tournament. That match was really good.
Oh man.
Definitely was on the edge of
See,
my
I knew
seat.
it. See, MrBurps. Yeah, stupid death toll. Forgot all about it. I knew it.
What?
Ah,
All
there's
right,
my
MrBurps. We had a little debate on what your final item would have been. What would it have been?
Soul Eater wouldn't have worked. Because you can't buy it because it was
Why?
magic. New patch.
Soul Eater?
Yeah. Oh no, Soul Eater. Sorry.
Yeah,
I
the new
Soul
patch.
Reaver.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. That was crazy. That was just